Hello everyone, Shani of Shani and Charlie here with my main man Danny. Up, Danny. Up. Good. I just want you guys to meet him. He is still a baby. I just got done feeding him, hand feeding him. That's why you see he has formula like all on him. But I'm about to put him in his cage because he is not fond of this light and he doesn't like when I talk very loud. I have to talk loud for these videos. So I just want you to see my baby son Conure, Parrot. Ready to go back to your cage? And I apologize for being so sweaty. It's just Danny is still a baby bird. He doesn't have all his feathers, and I have to keep my house 70-75 degrees to make sure he doesn't get sick. So it's really hot in my house right now, so I apologize for being so shiny and sweaty. What was that? What? Can I kiss? Mwah. Okay, so looks like he wants to stick around, so I guess I'll let him stay. I knew you weren't finished. You don't wait till I start my video and want to finish. The reason I want to do this video is because when I go into the animal shelters and the aviaries, and I look online for bird products, I find different bird adoption places, and it's really sad to see the condition that some of the birds are in, and to see it's amazing how many there are. I thought that, even in my area, there are a lot of birds in my area who have been rehomed and who have been abandoned. So what I want to do, I didn't want to just put the pretty side of Parrot on and out there. I want to put the ugly side of Parrot on, and I want to talk about the things that you don't see, so you won't mess up and make a mistake and waste your money or waste your time adopting the bird and find out that it's not a good fit for you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, number one, with owning birds. Birds are extremely loud, and it's not the little cute little chirping sounds that he's making right now. This is a medium-sized parrot. He's a small bird, but his screams pack a punch. If you live in an apartment or live with houses close by you, or a duplex or something like that, don't get a bird, because you're more than likely going to get evicted for violating the noise ordinance. They are extremely loud, and a lot of people, they have seen videos in the past with me and Charlie saying hey, Charlie saying up, making kissy sounds, Charlie saying what you're doing, different things that Charlie will say, and people will find that cute. But one thing you have to realize with birds is they don't just talk like a baby talks. They mimic more than anything. And so with mimicking, it doesn't just come with speech, it comes with sounds as well. Like with when I went to get Danny, there was an African gray in the pet shop, in the breeder's shop, and this African gray mimicked in a fire alarm. Like, I knew it was a fire alarm, and it was loud. It was really loud. There was this cute little cockatoo in there saying hello, but it was an African gray making all these type noises, and one of them that was very distinctive was a fire alarm, and it was really loud like a fire alarm, because birds like African grays, they mimic. I think African grays are #1 with mimicking and talking. So yeah, they actually have a range. They can mimic the pitch and the cadence of the sounds that they hear. And so this is not just you getting a bird and it's making noise and it's, like I said, doing what Danny is doing right now. Birds are just naturally noisy. That's how they call each other. That's how they communicate, of course. And the only time if someone tells you there's no such thing as a quiet bird. if someone tells you that this is a really quiet bird, you might better check into it, because that bird is probably sick, because birds just naturally make noise. That's just who they are. That's what they do. But majority of the time, birds are going to make some type of noise. Like, he's just sitting here making noise. He's happy. He's chirping. He's happy. He's doing what he does. He's loving on mama. So, yeah. Yes. Yes. You loving on mama? You loving on mama? You loving on mama? Yes. Number 2 is birds are long-term commitments. My little parakeets back there, they can live 10 to 20 years. You know, he's a medium-sized parrot, and they've been known to live 30 plus years. Some carriers have been known to live 30 plus years. Some macaws and African greys, they've been documented at 80 years. You know, it's amazing how long a bird can actually live when it has, you know, a good diet and it's a happy bird. They can live for an extremely long time. And that's why a lot of birds end up being rehomed and have to be adopted out, is because the bird outlived their owner. And I hope that never happens with me and Charlie. I don't want to see him, me and Danny, I don't want to see him die, but I also don't want to pass away and have him have to learn how to have that stress him out to where he's wondering where I am, because he is just a few months old and he's only known the breeder and me, and he's only been with me for less than a month, I think about 3 weeks now, and you see how attached he is already after 3 weeks. Number 3 is birds are extremely messy. Oh my god, they are so messy. They throw their food, and it's really not anything that you can do about it, but maybe get it like a corral or something. But they just throw their food, and the reason that they throw their food is because it is like a natural instinct for them. It is like the circle of life. In the jungle, what birds do is they may pick off a mango and bite off the mango, eat off of it a little bit, and then drop it on the floor, on the forest floor or the jungle floor. And so some kind of rodents or whatever will eat the rest of it, and that seed will just sit there, and eventually that seed will go into the ground, propagate, and it will become a new tree. So that's like the circle of life. Like, birds don't feel like they have to like eat everything down to the seed, and then eat everything down to the seed and not waste food, but that's just in their instinct. That's what's put in them to do, and that's how so many trees are propagated, because of birds dropping seeds, or birds dropping fruit. And so Danny does that. Like, they don't know that this is not the forest floor. They don't know, probably don't even know why they're doing it. It's just in their instinct to do it. Danny does that now. Like, he'll take a piece of lettuce and eat off of it and drop the rest of it on the ground. He has on the floor of his cage, but he has his habit of getting on the floor of his cage and then eating it. So I'm like, weird. But Danny doesn't eat seeds. He eats nothing but fresh fruits and veggies and pellets. And my parakeets, though, they eat seeds, and they throw seeds everywhere. Before I leave for work, my floor is completely clean, because I clean my floor before I go to bed. They don't eat once the lights are off, so my floor is completely clean before I go to work. When I get home from work, my floor, I wish I could show you my floor now, but it's really not. I've done some cleaning, so it's really not. But when I get in from work, I have seeds all over my floor, like all over my floor. Like, I never swept or vacuum my floor. And another thing is feathers. Have you ever tried to sweep or vacuum up bird feathers? It is so difficult. It is so difficult. I'm like, how do you guys even still have feathers? Because it seems like all of your feathers are on my floor. But they're extremely messy. Clean themselves. When Danny, a lot of times in the morning, he will get in the shower with me, because I try to leave him in the room when I would go and take my shower, but he will actually jump down off the cage, off the top of his cage, and walk into the bathroom, because I live alone, I don't close my bathroom door, and walk into the bathroom and scream when he gets in the bathroom. I'm like, the first time he did it, I was like, how in the world did he get in here? But he just kept doing it. Every morning he would jump down off the top of his cage, and I was afraid that he would get hurt, because right now his wings are clipped. The breeder did clip his wings, so he's only flying down, so I'm kind of afraid he may get hurt. So a lot of times in the morning I will let him shower with me, and then I'll set him on the stand and let him dry off. But he also takes baths in his water bowl, and he will splash water everywhere. He will shake the water off trying to dry himself, so water would just fly everywhere. And messiness when it comes to the poop. Let's see if I have any on me, because he's been on me for a while. No, I don't have any. I don't have any on me, so that's a good thing. But parrots, birds poop. I mean, as you see how the same way you're in your car and some bird poop would just be on your car, same thing. Bird poop would just be on my back sometimes. It'd just be on my back and my shoulder or wherever. But and then they have like this projectile poop, because birds don't have a bladder like we do. Yeah, they don't have a bladder like we do. So their food and their water both comes out the same place. So that's why birds poop is so watery, because it has water mixed in with it. It doesn't separate. So sometimes early in the morning, Danny doesn't do this. Danny actually stands on the perch and poops in the morning, so it goes down. But when I had Charlie, he would stand on the cage and just projectile poop out of the cage every single morning. And if you have birds, that morning poop is like a big poop. It's like a lot of poop that they poop the first poop in the morning. I guess because they've been holding it all night, but it's a lot. And he would projectile poop every morning. So every morning I had my Clorox wipes and my Lysol just scrubbing the floor every single morning. And so it takes a lot of work to keep your house clean. And this one guy was telling me that his friend had a bird and his house smelled like, I don't understand how your house smells when you have a bird. I mean, the only thing, like, he stinks to me, and it's only because he smells like the formula that I feed him. I can't stand the smell. It smells like real baby formula, which I know it is like a birdie baby formula, but it smells just like baby formula. Like, right, so I let Danny go to the top of his cage so he can kind of play around up there. But number 4 is birds are extremely needy. One thing that a lot of people don't understand about birds is most parrot species are monogamous birds, meaning that whatever bird they bond with, whatever mate they have, is for life. And it's the same way in captivity, except for in captivity you are your parrot's mate. You are your parrot's mate. And I'm not talking about any nasty bestiality stuff. I'm not talking about, you know, like in that way. But in captivity you are your parrot's mate, meaning that that parrot has a bond with you and only you. Parrots, they're not like dogs or cats or other creatures out there where you can breed a dog with this one and breed a cat with that one, that. No, it's for life. This is a true death do you part situation. That's the only thing that separates a parrot's bond, is death. That's it. Nothing else. No, I'm tired of you. None of that. No irreconcilable differences. None of that. It's just death. That's the only thing. Parrots show amazing affection. They are amazing creatures when it comes to affection. They give affection, as you saw Danny with me. They give affection in their own way, and they also love to receive affection. Danny likes kisses and head scratches. That's his thing. He likes kisses and head scratches. That's how he likes affection. And he likes to just sit here and have me talk to him. But when your birds are neglected, or when they feel neglected, that's a lot of times why a lot of birds scream. So they scream for attention. Parrots, if they're not getting the affection or the love or the attention that they need, they will become angry. They will bite you. They will become aggressive. They will manipulate themselves by plucking out their feathers. I've read stories about parrots like biting off their feet. It's really weird what they do to themselves when they're not getting the care that they need. So they are extremely needy. Extremely needy. Like, you can forget about going on vacation. I went to Kentucky and Charlie had to go to Kentucky with me. Yes, Charlie, not Danny, but Charlie had to go to Kentucky with me. This was last October, because there's no such thing as a bird sitter, because birds are typically one people birds, and just because your bird likes you does not mean your bird's gonna like this person who you want to watch your bird for you. That's not gonna happen. No. If you have an aviary in the area that will watch your bird for you, it's probably going to be mad expensive. And relationships, like right now I'm single, and that's one of the things that I don't worry about it, but I know it's going to be an issue, because this guy asked for my phone number and we were talking on the phone, and it was okay like the first couple of times we talked on the phone, but then he started saying things like, I can't hear you for those birds, I can't hear you for that bird, you know. And I'm like, okay. So I just finally said, you know what, it's not gonna work, you know, between me and you, because I can tell you have a problem with my birds and they're not going anywhere. So if you have a problem with the birds, then, you know, we can't talk, because there's no need for us to even waste our time continuing to spend, you know, hours on the phone together, and it's not going anywhere because you have a problem on the phone with my birds. Imagine if you ever came to my house and you saw, you know, and you tried to come to my house and watch TV with me, and you can't really get into the TV because the birds are making noise in the background. And they weren't even screaming, it was just, they were just making noise, like chirping, you know. So I knew that was going to be a problem. And that's one thing, is it may always be, you know, an icebreaker for some people. Some people, they just don't like animals. So that's one thing you have to think about if you're single and you're getting a bird, and your bird may not like your mate. I've read stories and seen videos where people have said, you know, it's either me or the bird. And I've actually talked to some people who own aviaries and some breeders, and they've said that that was the reason why a lot of their birds are being adopted out. They have a lot of birds that need to be fostered and adopted simply because this person was single. They ended up getting a bird, and the bird attacked the girlfriend or the boyfriend, and it's like, you know, it's either me or the bird type situation. So I already have my mind made up now, which I know the person that's right for me, they're not going to make me choose between them and my bird. Everything is going to work out. But keep that in mind. Your birds probably won't like anyone but you, and you may lose relationships because of birds. And birds are needy because they need your attention. That's one thing they need. They need your attention above. That's like one of the top 2 things that they need is your attention. If you have an 8-hour job, I suggest you do not get a bird. I have an 8-hour job, but what I do is I have to be to my job at 9 o'clock. I used to leave my house about 8:15, 8:30. So what I do is I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So from 5 o'clock in the morning to 8:15, I'm spending time with Danny. I'm talking to him. I'm interacting with him. You know, he's gotten where he's goes with me in the shower now. Like the entire time, even when I'm praying aloud. So he's thinking I'm talking to him the same way he was nuzzling on me and chirping. He does that when I pray. He does when I read my Bible. I read my Bible out loud so he can hear me. He can feel like I'm talking to him. And even if I'm looking at something on my phone, I'm talking about it out loud and I'm describing it to him. So I'm talking to him. I'm interacting with him. I hand feed him every morning. I do his little head scratches that he loves every morning. I play with him every morning. So before I get to work, he gets at least 3 hours of attention with me, and I feel like that's enough for him for that day. But also, he's not alone while I'm at work. He is not alone. I have my 2 parakeets in the same room with him. Even though they're in separate cages, they're in the same room. His cage, I will do a cage tour later, but his cage is bananas. It's like a jungle of toys. He has toys everywhere in his cage. So if you have an 8-hour job and you don't have another bird to keep that bird entertained, do not get a bird, because what's going to happen is that bird is going to get lonely and he's going to start plucking his feathers out and you're gonna have like a major problem with your bird. So do not get a bird unless you plan on do not get a bird if you have a 8-hour job. And when I get off work, when I come home, I get home maybe around 6, and I go to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So that entire time, I'm spending that time with Danny. After I get my dogs fed and I play with my dogs a little bit, I give that time to Danny, and he's happy. But like I said, it's really all the toys and everything that I have in his cage. So number 5, I was going to give you guys 10, but this video is running a little long, so I'll do a part 2. Number 5, I would say expensive. Birds are extremely expensive. Not only the cost of buying a bird, Charlie, because I bought him in the town that I live in, they didn't have a lot of sun cones. They get like 1 or 2 a year, and so they jacked the prices up on them. So Charlie was $700, Danny was $350, and no, Charlie was $600. His cage came with they threw in the cage for an extra $100. So Charlie was $600, Danny was $350, and these are small parrots. So I looked into getting I want a cockatoo, and I looked into getting a cockatoo. The cheapest one I found was like $1,500. My parakeets, they were like $20 from the pet supermarket, but I also want a scarlet macaw. And the cheapest one I was able to find, scarlet macaw, and this was one that was 12 years old, was $1,000. So I want to start with babies, because I don't know the history of that bird. I would prefer to start with babies, and a baby macaw was $2,000. Yes, so they are very expensive to purchase, and even the upkeep of the bird is very expensive. Buying their fruits and veggies, fresh fruits and veggies, that grocery bill can go up because I try to get organic fruits and veggies for them. Vet bills are very expensive. I took Charlie had gotten a respiratory infection, and it was a little too cool in my house for him, so he ended up getting a respiratory infection. Just to give him some antibiotics and see him was $75. I had to drop $75 that day. And to some people, the $75 isn't a lot of money, but to me, being single and living alone, paying all my bills myself, that $75, you know, that was like a water bill and a full tank of gas, you know. So you always have to keep their cages full of toys, and they are destructive, and I'll go into that in the next video. But they destroy the toys, and so you have to keep buying toys over and over again, something to keep them active. Buying treats, I guess that can go with food. Buying treats, it's just so much that goes into it. And the birds there, it's just, your life changes when you get a bird. Your life changes drastically when you get a bird. Like my favorite cleaning supplies, I can't even use my favorite cleaning supplies anymore because I have a bird now. You know, it's crazy. It's bananas. I'm telling you, it's bananas. But this video has run way longer than I wanted it to run. I hope you stuck with me to the end. I hope you learned something. And I will be doing a part 2 and give you 5 more reasons you know, why you shouldn't get a bird, things to consider before you end up getting a bird. If you like this video, if you like what I do on this channel, please remember to give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more of Danny and more of these types of videos, just let me know in the comment section. I will keep doing them as long as you guys keep watching them. But thank you so much for watching, and again, I apologize for ending up being so long, and as usual, toodaloo, bye bye.